Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for mildly getting mad at a woman for her behavior at a stop sign towards the end of this video? The whole reason my husband and I invested in these e-bikes was to encourage us to be more active, to get out and enjoy nature, to discover the natural or historic sites and trails our state and nearby cities have to offer. But at the same time, I'm not willing to compromise my health or my safety to do it. Nor should I let other people's decisions decide for me whether to continue riding. The lady's behavior the other day sort of disappointed me at how rude her actions were, simply based on her selfish impatience. Don't get me wrong, I've had many instances where people were even more rude to me than on this day. And this example wasn't even that big of a deal, yet for some reason it stands out to me. It's not like I have a vendetta against them or that I'd ever say or do anything to them. It's not as though I'd even recognize them if I were to pass them at the local Walmart. I can't even tell you why it stands out to me, but it does. Before I get much further into the video, I guess the message I'd like to relate is common courtesy and patience. Of course, the last thing I want to do is come off preachy, but even I have the duty to keep this in mind when I'm driving behind slower moving vehicles or a bicyclist, because that bicyclist is my fellow brethren or sistren. Not that I want to get too mushy about this or anything. But am I an a-hole for mildly getting mad at this person's impatient behavior? I believe I have a reason to be mad because it involves my safety. Her impatience shouldn't trump my safety. Nobody has the right to be impatient or selfish when it involves someone else's quality of life. In my state, and I'm sure in lots of other states, vehicles have to yield to bicyclists and pedestrians. This is at least something that everybody should know. I also feel like these are the same people that would cop an attitude in a second if they were walking as a pedestrian, and if they even so much think that you're not going to yield to them, with their hot-headed attitude, they just want to start throwing words and fists. I also believe due to people's self-righteousness, they don't want to do what is right. But they certainly do know what is right. Or are only thinking of themselves, but certainly not how their actions impact others. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom, and I haven't lost all my faith in humanity, but I'm going to say at the moment it's a glass is half empty sort of outlook. Here's the video clip. In the distance on the horizon is the stop sign where my true anger bubbles forth. You can't see it very well because my arm is in the way, but the whole reason I have this mirror on my bike is to monitor the traffic behind me. Due to the angle of my GoPro, I can't see the woman in question, but she's there, traveling just a bit too close for my comfort, yet has plenty of room to go around me before stopping at the stop sign, but doesn't. My imagination runs wild at the possibility of me flipping over the handlebars, skidding to a halt as the pavement grates the flesh off my face like a delicate artisan cheese, or in the very least, a popped inner tube. I decided to fully stop at this intersection because of the slight incline of this hill, which the woman motorist, I guess, took as some sort of non-verbal, non-physical, non-communicational sign that I wasn't intending to proceed through the intersection. As I was getting my pedal into position, seconds away from twisting the throttle to take off, she accelerates, which I'm glad I didn't take off with full throttle at the same time, or I would have bug splatted up against the broadside of her SUV. I mean, I was technically in front of her, so I should have been able to proceed ahead of her. I'm also a bicyclist. Wasn't she supposed to yield to me? There was another car right behind the first, so I decided to wave the person on, just to get them out of my hair. At this point, I'm mildly ticked off, with sassy retorts darting into my mind like, sorry I wasn't fast enough for your liking, or if you're in such a hurry, you should have left sooner. But there's no earthly reason to start that sort of verbal incontinence nonsense. But I was definitely sassing her under my breath for a good while after that happened. So my question still stands. Was I the a-hole in this situation? Did I have a right to get a little pissed off when she cut me off? For my safety, I'm glad I wasn't the first to proceed through the intersection, and in the end, I'm glad that the encounter wasn't a closer call than it was. But things could have been a lot worse. Geography. That's not sound right. That does not sound like sound advice. I think a little